So, welcome to the first week of the fire element. I would say summer, but I'm looking out there at the dree. Well, it's not too bad. I did sit outside and actually I wasn't bitten by midges, so win-win. But as always, when we move into a different element, we're going to start with the body clock flow this week. So a really lovely flowing qigong sequence that just makes sure that the energy is running through all of the different energy channels for all of the different pairs of organs in the manner that it should. So what can put it out? Stress, late nights, if you're doing shift work, obviously travel, but that's limited at the moment. So anything can put your body clock out of sync. And it's really good when we feel that we are in sync. So without further ado, if you've got some water, I invite you just to have a glug of water, and then we're just going to come onto the mats. I'm not going to play any tunes this week. The summer playlist is in, what is it? Is in the melting pot, so that'll be happening next week. Feel free to put on your own music. So we're just going to come onto the mats, just rubbing into the palms of the hands. So working in the fire element with the energy channels for the heart and small intestine, and these run from the inside of your armpit, right there in the armpit, along the edge of the inner arm to the little finger. This is for the heart, okay? And then for the small intestine, it's the back of the arm from the little finger, comes through into the shoulders. Think about all of that upper back tension in the shoulders, comes through into the neck. So again, thinking, especially if you're working at home and spending long hours in front of the computer screen, comes in front of the ears. So if you open and close the jaw, you'll feel a little kind of divot that appears, and this is a really key small intestine point. So these are kind of just a quick overview of the energy channels this week. We'll do more as we progress through the season. So just working with the heart, rubbing into the palms of the hands. Remember, we've got fire points here in the palms, and you can choose where you'd like to put your hands. So if you'd like, you can just place it on the energy center, chi high. If you're a woman, it's the right hand that goes, just a couple of finger widths below your tummy button, and rest the remaining hand on top. Otherwise, if you're a man, it's the left hand first, and then the remaining hand on top. Or you can have your hands in prayer, hands on the heart, or revisit the Anjali, the mudra of the cup that we've been using in early summer. So whatever feels like a lovely way just to connect with that sense of the energy of the heart. So when we talk about matters of the heart of the matter, it's something that's central to the person we are, that helps us feel connected, not only with other people, but with ourselves. And so just inviting into your little cup, into that connection with your sense, with your center, something or someone or things or activities that really light you up, that fill your heart. So we'll just invite that in on the inhale, breathing in and out through the nose, breathing right down into the belly, and on the exhale, you can just breathe it all out with an open mouth. Actually, we'll just do 3 open mouth exhales now I think about it. Nice breath in through the nose. Just bringing to mind, bring to heart that thing, that person that makes you want to smile. Exhale, breathe the stress of getting here, the stress of the day, just out on the exhale. Lovely, nice big breath in, into the belly, up into the ribs, up into the chest. And then exhale, just breathing it out. Wonderful. So inhaling, taking the hands up above the head, pressing the palms up, interlacing the fingers as you allow yourself to sink down a little into the feet. So you're feeling stretched through the ribs, through the spine. And then exhaling, just coming into a nice easy forward fold, just to flow through the spine a little bit, all the way down. Inhaling, just popping the hands onto the shins, nice half lift. Stretching up with the sit bones, lifting the chest, finding length in the back line of the body, and then as you exhale, just softening down. Lovely. Dropping the weight into the feet, slowly unfurling as you breathe in, all the way up. That's it. We'll just stretch through the body once again. Lovely. Exhaling, just bringing the hands down and onto the knees. So we're going to start the body clock flow with a standing cat-cow. On the inhale, bringing the awareness from the pubic bone up to the mouth, and from the exhale, from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And so as we inhale, we are drawing the tailbone away, but we're kind of stretching from the front of the pelvis up the front of the chest, lifting the gaze, tongue on the roof of the mouth. As we exhale, we start from the tailbone, rounding the back, the navel's hugging up as we tuck the chin. Inhaling, pubic bone up to the mouth. Exhaling, really tucking the tail, opening through the back of the body. Lovely. So inhale, opening the front. Exhale, opening the back. Ujjayi breath if you can, breathing with sound. Inhale. Exhaling through the nose, gentle tensing of the throat so you can hear your breath. Lovely. Last one. Inhaling. Finding space and length for the breath. Exhaling. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Popping the hands down and back onto the belly. So I'm just going to do a little time check. So essentially, we start practice for the pericardial meridian in 5 minutes time. So we're just going to start with the bladder, continue with the flow for the bladder and kidney energy channel. So stepping forward with the left foot, stepping back with the right, dropping the hips down into chi. So we drop down into this central point and just slide the weight forward so the back heel lifts. Slide the weight back so the front toes lift. But notice how the hips aren't going up and down. They're just on that plane, as it were, that level, sliding forward and then sliding back, sliding forward. I have to actually do the words in sync with the movement, sliding back. So now let's bring in the arms. As we come forward, we're breathing in, scooping up water. This is called scooping water. As we exhale, we're going to start by tucking the chin, drawing the navel back, folding down that front leg, inhaling, coming up. So we want to move through the spine, the 3 gates of the spine. So we start with the upper gate, back of the neck, and then in between the shoulder blades, then just below the waist. Lovely. Inhaling, coming all the way up. So we're not going to rush it. Allow the movement and the breath to be slow and deliberate, all the way down. It's not about how far down you get physically. It's just about feeling that movement in sequence through the spine, back of the neck, shoulder blades just below the waist. Inhaling, coming up, changing sides. So we'll just keep that wonderful bowl of beautifully warm, soothing water there. Take the weight into the back leg, and then exhale, peel down in sequence that right leg. Inhaling, scooping up. Exhale, hip, the weight goes back, just tucking the head, opening between the shoulder blades, the back of the waist, and then scooping up. Lovely. 2 more. Exhaling. Inhaling, coming up. Exhale. Inhaling, coming up. And just stepping the feet back to shoulder width and just bringing the hands down the center line, coming all the way up and then all the way down. And we're just going to have a go at doing the wave, okay, or the pump, sorry. So I'll face side on. Sorry, I'm having a map issue. I'll face side on. And essentially, if you're thinking about the energy flowing from the lower gate up through the mid gate into the upper gate, these are the positions of the gates, okay? And so the first one is when we push the hands away, the hips draw away. And as we pull the hands towards us, the hips do the opposite. So let's just move the hands and the hips as if we're moving through deep water. So with a little bit of resistance, we want to really find that flow through the lower portion of the spine. Exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling. Now bringing that wave further up the spine. So coming up from the hips into the solar plexus area and then back. And we'll do that a few more times. Up to the solar plexus and then back. Lovely. Inhaling. and exhaling. Coming up to the chest now, opening, lifting the chest a little bit, not opening, it's kind of like really lifting through each part of the spine and coming back. And then from here, coming up into the shoulders. So as the hips come forward, exhaling, the hands come over, and then just draw them back. Exhaling, so we're circling all the way through the shoulders and then the neck. So we're tucking the chin. Exhaling, coming down. Inhaling, feeling the movement all the way through the length of the spine. When you get that flow, it's like if you were to try and think it would feel a little bit, you know, you wouldn't manage it, but if you just go with the flow, the fluid flow of the water element, which is what we're working with this sequence, then it just seems to seamlessly flow into place. Lovely. Making this the last one. Exhaling, popping the hands down. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Bringing the little space in between the fingers and just scanning down the body on the exhale. Soft in the knees, soft in the hips. Scooping up. Exhaling, coming down. Lovely. And again, scooping up. Exhale. So we're going to move now into 7 o'clock through to 11. It's the pericardium and triple heater. So we're working from the side of the chest through the center of the palm to the middle finger, tip of the middle finger. So spiraling all the way along the arms on the inhale. Exhaling from the middle finger through to the shoulders, navel hugging back. Lovely. Inhaling, feeling expansive and open. Exhaling, curling in. So it's that time where we invite ourselves to come home to ourselves after the activities of the day, connecting with home, with all of the different routines and what it means to come home, connecting with family if you're living with people, or simply connecting with other beings in your house. It might be a beautiful cat, for example. Lovely. So exhaling, inhaling, opening up. What we're going to do is cross the left arm over the right on the exhale. Hold onto the shoulders. Drop the ear down to that left shoulder. Just give my nose a little scratch there. Lovely. So on the inhale, we're going to turn round to the left. Exhale, come back to center, and then inhale, turn to the right. Exhale, back to center. Inhaling, just to open the arms, and then what we're going to do now is change. So right hand on top, holding on to the shoulders, just dropping the ear down to that right shoulder. So inhaling, turning to the right. Exhaling, back to center. Inhaling, turning left. Exhale, lovely. Inhaling, opening all the way up. Exhaling, bringing the ring fingers together. Inhaling. So from here we come into the time for the wood element, scooping the hands up, liver and gallbladder. So we'll just scan and balance the energy down the central energy channel, which is the do and the ren mind. Lovely. So just leaning into this left leg, we're just going to, and lifting this right heel. In fact, step the feet a little wider if you need. Sliding that right hand down so you can start to lean into that leg. Feel that stretch here. Lovely. And then just change sides. So we'll just get the basics of the movement. It's like leaning into, we're filling this leg. This leg's nice and empty so we can lift it. We're not, you know, we can always lift it a little bit. Lovely. And then come back. So now let's bring the arm movement. So imagine that this palm is the rising sun. And as we inhale, the gaze follows the palm. As we exhale, it's down to the fourth toe on the right foot. Inhaling, bringing the hands back, following the movement of the hands with the gaze and coming back to center. So we'll do that again. Other side, inhaling. Exhale, coming into or leaning into that stretch. Inhaling, returning back. Exhaling, coming down. Other side, inhale. Exhale. So the liver and gallbladder, they work with the sense of sight. And this is why we're paying particular attention to parts of the sequence using the gaze. And what can happen is when we don't have that sense of clarity, when we're confused, inhaling, we'll do one more each side, then we can feel a little bit argy-bargy. You know, we might feel frustrated, for example, because we have a plan, but circumstances aren't, you know, aligning for it to happen, for example. Or we can just feel a little bit confused, can't see the wood for the trees. So let's just clear any residual frustration. You know, we can experience moments of anger at any time of the year. It's not just, for example, in the spring or at a particular time of day. Early morning is the time for the liver and gallbladder. Okay, so we're going to make a little soft fist. And we start by curling the little finger in first, followed by the rest, and then pop the thumb on top. Okay, so let's just practice that. Curling the fingers in, drawing the fist back to the side of the ribs. And on the exhale, we're going to move from the shoulder through the elbow to the wrist and sit down a little bit, feel nice and rooted. So inhaling, gathering in, thumbs facing up, exhaling, just letting go. And then we want to make sure the fists are soft. Inhale, exhale. So notice as you're drawing it in and exhaling that you're moving through the joints in turn without rigidity. We don't want to lock a joint, especially when we get to, you know, the really energetic exhales. We want to make sure that we're moving with an even flow throughout. Lovely. So now let's do 4 with a strong ha on the exhale, really driving back with the navel, drawing in. Exhale, ha, inhale. Ha, inhale. Ha, inhale. Ha, 4 soft shushes. And again. 2 more. Last one. Lovely, scooping up on the inhale. Exhale. So anytime you're feeling frustrated, it's not a bad thing. If you can, do a little bit of qigong, a bit of freeing up that anger, which is just a signpost showing us what we truly value and when stuff is kind of getting in the way of it. Lovely. So moving on to the lungs and large intestine, 6 directional breath. This is the metal element. So we're going to make a little L shape with the index finger and thumb. And on the inhale, really draw the hands in, but fill the ribs, fill the belly, fill the shoulder blades, the armpits with the breath. And then as we exhale, we're just going to push the hands away and drop into our center. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in as much as you can. Really using the muscles around the lungs, exhaling as much as you can. Coming back into center. And then for this one, the hands go up as the hips drop down, feeling long in the spine. Breathing in and breathing out. Nice and soft in the shoulders. Again, we don't want to lock or be too rigid. Breathing in and then breathing out. Coming back into center, filling the abdomen. And then exhale, hands out to the side. So the metal element is all about connecting with what's of true value. Thinking about hidden gems, preciousness, inhaling and exhale. Let's do one of each in the sequence. Inhaling, exhaling out in front. Inhaling back in. Exhaling up to the ceiling, lengthening through the spine, hanging off that rope. Inhaling, coming back. Exhaling out to the sides. We'll do one more. Inhale, exhale out in front. And back in. Exhale. Hold your breath if you can, breathing in. Breathing with sound, exhaling. Lovely. Bringing the hands in and then exhaling, just settling down. So extending the left arm. Exhale, wrapping the right hand across. Inhaling as if you're drawing a bow. And then instead of letting it go, well, you can let it go, actually imagine drawing in what you no longer need. Might be that, oh, the cupboard just there, I haven't had a good sort through in ages. Just want to sort through and just get rid of any paper, recycled paper I don't need. Let it go. And then exhale, cross over the body, change sides. Inhaling. Drawing the hand back to the last bit of the collarbone, last third, letting it go, and then exhale across. Lovely. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. And inhale. Something to mind, bring something to mind that you no longer need. Lovely, let it go. Now what you can do is draw in what's of true value. Lovely. Exhale. draw near to you what you really need. That helps you really connect with who you are, truly are. Lovely. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhaling. Exhale. From there, scooping the hands up, just balancing the energy down the central channels on the exhale, scooping up. Exhale. So we want to make sure that we're soft in the knees, soft in the hips. Last one. So now it's the morning time as we move through the body clock, and it's the time for breakfast. Lovely. So making a little ball of energy in front of the belly, left hand on top, right hand below. So as you breathe in, expand the ball. And as you exhale, really draw the solar plexus area back in towards the body. You can engage Bandha a little bit as well. Breathing in, expanding, exhale, really drawing in. And we're trying to access and gently work into the pancreas. Breathing in and breathing out, which is the deepest organ in the abdomen. Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. So this one, taking the right hand up, pressing the palm up as you press the left hand down, stretching through the body, stomach meridian. Exhale, coming back to center, changing sides, inhaling. Exhale, back into center. One more each side, and then we're going to add in the twist for the spleen. Inhale. Exhale. So we're pressing equally up as we are down. Lovely. Exhale, back into center. So right hand up, left hand down, navel hugging back, exhaling, turning round to the left. Inhale, back to face forwards. Exhale, just coming back into your center. And again, other side. Inhaling, finding the stretch. Exhaling, navel engaged, turning round to the right. Inhale, back to face forwards. Exhale, coming back into center. We'll do the same again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more to the other side. Inhaling. Exhale, turning right. Inhale, back facing forward. And exhale. Lovely. Scooping the hands up. Scooping the hands down. And again, breathing in. And breathing out. So from there it comes to peak energy, which is actually the energy channels for the heart, for the fire element, that of the heart and small intestine. So we're going to start with the right hand on the heart and lead with this little finger for the left hand. So really being aware of the armpits and the connection from the armpits along the lower edge of the arm to the little finger. So this is called circling the sun. So we're moving across to the right and then behind the head as we exhale. Inhale. Leading with the little finger, exhale. So you'll notice we have to kind of flip the hand to start again. Inhale and exhale. Lovely. Changing hands. So leading now with this right little finger. So imagining it's not just the arm movement, it's the whole of the torso. And we're trying to imagine that we're rolling a marble around the heart or around that plane, as it were, this upper, the whole of the upper chest. Lovely. We'll do one extra one because I'm kind of talking and lovely. So this is now for the small intestine. This is called circling the moon. So we're going to reverse it. We go round and behind and then come over the crown of the head. Lovely. Round and behind. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling, really moving round the plane of the small intestine. Popping that hand, and we'll just change and do the same with the left hand. So we're going round behind and then over on the exhale. Inhaling, really moving. It's like a hula hooping. Lovely. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Stay with that hand. Circle the sun. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Circle the moon. Inhale. Exhale. Change sides. Circling the sun. Inhaling. Exhale. Circling the moon. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. We'll just change. Do one more each side. Circling the sun. Circling the moon. Circling the sun. Inhale. Exhale. Circling the moon. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely. Taking both hands, brushing the hands past the ribs, crossing the arms on the inhale, opening. Exhale, do that again. Inhaling. Really opening from armpit to finger. Exhale, coming down. Doing the same again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. So with inhale, opening all the way up. Lovely. And just scooping the hands up on the next inhale and exhale, coming down. So moving now back into bladder and kidney. Exhaling. So just bringing the hands down above the knees, ready for standing cat-cow. Remembering we're working from the pubic bone up to the mouth on the inhale. Exhale, tailbone to the crown of the head, but keep the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Lovely. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Just a couple more. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhaling, just coming all the way up. Looking up to the hands. Exhaling, popping the hands down. So you're going to step the left foot, I'm not going to mirror it, to the right. And so your right hand, I'm not mirroring this, your right hand is your yang energy. And then the yin is this lovely, imagine you're wrapping something very precious with silk. And so it's like the power of our health. You know, we've got the wisdom for it, that's the yin. And we've got the motivation and resources for it, that's the yang. So the power of our health is in our hands. Lovely. Exhaling, just coming to a little bow. Then inhaling, coming all the way back up. So that is our body clock flow practice for this evening. I hope you enjoyed that. And just take on some water now. And we're just going to come into some sun salutation practice. So we'll just spend a little bit of time with the sun salutes, making sure they feel and kind of flow well for us. So coming towards the front edge of the mat, feet together in Samasthiti, might be a little bit apart, a little bit, or together, whatever feels more comfortable and balanced. So we're going to lift and spread the toes. Just take the weight forward and back a couple of times, finding that central point of balance across the length and breadth of the feet together. Lovely. And then taking the energy up the legs, so starting to lift up with the kneecaps, thigh muscles, draw close to the bones, lift up with bandha, drawing up with the center of the pelvic floor, drawing back with the lower abdominal muscles, and just lengthening from the soles of the feet all the way up through the length of the spine to the crown of the head. So the shoulders are nice and relaxed, but we're starting to lift the sternum a little bit. So particular emphasis on the heart area. And lifting the sternum can really help balance out the flow of the energy in the heart channel. Lovely. So from here, inhaling, taking the hands up, and we'll just give ourselves a really delicious stretch. So interlace the fingers and just stretch up from the soles of the feet so you find even more space from the hips to the ribs. Lovely. And then bringing the hands into prayer, and we're just going to fold down. So hands down, it could be onto the shins, it could be fingertips or palms on the mat, whatever feels comfortable. Inhaling, lifting the sit bones and looking up, engaging your bandhas, finding a stretch in the back line, and then exhale, hands flat, stepping back into plank. So the shoulder blades are down the back, we've got a little micro bend in the elbows, we're tucking the tail and stretching into the heels, popping the knees down, untucking the toes, just lowering the chest in between the elbows, a couple of inches. And then as we inhale, we're just going to ease up into the back of the neck first. Remembering, this is the upper gate in the spine. So we want lots of fluid flow up into the top of the spine before we then take the gaze up. Exhale, just come back into child's pose. I'm just going to sort my mat out because it's annoying me. So coming back into child's pose. Knees wide, toes touching. I'm just going to really lovely stretch through the back. Nice breath in. Exhale, just arriving. Nice big breath in again. Exhaling, engaging bandhas. So inhaling, just coming up to all fours, tucking the feet back and knees back to hip width, tucking the toes, stretching back into a nice, easy, easing downward dog. So the feet are hip width apart. The gaze, we'll just look at the toes to start with. Rolling the heels up. So we're having a little look, checking the heels. As we exhale, we're going to bend one knee, stretch the other heel down. Inhaling, both heels rolling up. Exhaling, other heel stretching down. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, both heels rolling up. Now breathing out, both heels drawing down. Lovely. So just see if you can get a rhythm with the breath. Breathing in, 2, 3. Breathing out, 2, 3. Breathing in, breathing out. Step the feet in towards the hands. Just stay there for another breath. Breathing out. Looking to the hands, bending the knees, stepping, walking forward, breathing in. Forward fold, breathing out. Inhaling, unfurling, coming all the way up. And bringing the hands back in front of the heart. Take a nice breath in. Just arriving back in Samasthiti. So breathing in, taking the arms all the way up, interlacing the fingers, just stretching. Exhaling, bringing the hands down past the heart into a forward fold. Inhaling, nice half lift. Exhaling, stepping back into plank, pop the knees down, lower down. Inhale, just lifting up into the back of the neck first, and peeling the gaze, drawing those shoulders back. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, engaging your bandhas, heels drawing down to the mat, making sure that you're pressing the palms down into the mat, but you're soft around the neck and the shoulders, moving into the head, remembering that the small intestine meridian runs through the neck, through the shoulder blades. So we've got all of this work potentially that's happening in downward dog. Keep with the breath, but actually we want it to be soft, not locked out. So bending at the knees, on the inhale, stepping or walking forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, unfurling. Exhale, coming back into Samasthiti. Lovely. Take a breath in. Just arriving back in the moment. Lovely. Nice big stretch. Stretching up through the spine. We'll just get a little bit more length into the torso. Exhale, lovely forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, stepping back to plank. Pop the knees down for this one, lowering down a couple of inches. So inhaling, peeling up into upward dog, shoulders drawing back, taking the gaze up. Exhaling, tucking the toes, downward dog, 5 breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. So if downward dog feels too much, just come down into child's pose. You really want to make sure that this practice suits your energy level, that helps your energy levels rather than drains it. Sometimes we feel we want to work a little bit harder, we want to challenge ourselves a little bit, and that's fine. Other times we need to just tune in and really kind of honor and protect the amount of energy that we feel. Okay, so breathing in, breathing out. If you're in child's pose, just coming into downward dog, making sure that you're soft in the knees, just spend an extra breath, drawing the sit bones further back if you can, using your bandhas. Lovely, and then bending at the knees, stepping forward on the inhale. Exhaling, forward fold. Navel hugging up. Inhale, unfurling. Exhale, coming back to Samasthiti. Lovely, so let's move into Surya Namaskar B now. Exhale, dropping the hips, keeping them low. Inhaling, bringing the hands up into chair. Exhaling, the hips go up, the hands come down, forward fold. Inhaling, nice half lift. Exhale, hands flat, stepping back into plank, pop the knees down, lower down a couple of inches. Inhale, nice easy upward dog, engaging bandha. Exhale, downward dog. So, lifting the heels, bending the knees, stepping forward with the right foot, anchor the left foot down. Inhaling, coming up into a nice easy warrior one. So the chest and the hips are facing forwards. Make sure there's space between the legs for this to happen, not this. See how the hips want to go off? So you need a little bit of space. Lovely. Shoulder blades down the back. Just stay here for an extra breath. Breathing in, gaze up between the palms, lifting the sternum, shoulder blades away from the ears. Lovely. Exhale, forward fold, popping the hands either side of the front foot, slide the front foot back, knees down, in plank, lower down. Inhaling, nice easy upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. You do the same on the other side. So, stepping forward with the left foot, anchoring and angling the right foot down. Inhaling, coming up, warrior one. Exhale, shoulder blades down the back. Inhaling, lifting the sternum, gaze up between the hands. Exhaling, hands down, lifting the back heel, front foot back. So exhale, the knees come down and we drop down, that's all one breath. Inhaling, nice easy upward dog. Exhaling, child's pose or downward dog, 5 breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, pressing the palms, base of the thumb, second and third fingers, breathing out. Soften the knees now. Look at your knees and check that if they were a pair of eyes, they're looking straight back at you. There's no squinty glances. Keep breathing in, breathing out. Really engaging bandha to draw the sit bones and pelvis even further away, but keeping it soft in the shoulders and around the neck and the elbows. Lovely. Breathing in, looking to the hands, stepping forward. Breathing out, forward fold. Navel hugging up, seeing if you can melt down towards the mat, and then coming back into chair. Inhale. Lengthening through the back of the waist. Exhale, coming into Samasthiti. Stay there, breathe in. Exhale, just arrive. Another breath, breathing in. Exhale. So let's continue with a few more Surya Namaskar B, just to really get the anatomy of the sun salutation, you know, in our minds, in our bodies. Lovely. So breathing in and breathing out. Lovely. So breathing in, we'll come into it now. Breathing out, bending the knees, taking the hips low. Breathing in, bringing the hands up, lengthening from the back of the waist. Exhale, lift the hips, hands come down, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, stepping into plank, knees down, drop down in between the elbows. Lovely. Inhale, creeping up into upward dog. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog. So stepping forward with that right foot, anchoring the left foot. Next inhale, coming up into warrior one. Shoulder blades down the back. Lovely. So we're just going to stay here because I'd like to just work on the positioning of the hands if you'd like to bring them together. So what can happen, I'll just face you forward. This can kind of happen. You can kind of feel like shoulder blades are up, it all feels a bit tight. And what we want to do is to bring the hands together, the shoulder blades are down the back. So just bring the hands, you know, maybe in line with the top of the head. Okay. Then from here, we're going to lift the sternum. Lift the sternum, take the gaze back a little bit to create some space. But again, notice the shoulder blades are still down the back, and we're taking the hands a little bit higher and taking the gaze to the thumbs, okay? So there's lots of space around the head and neck. We've lifted up through the sternum and found a bit more space from the hips and the ribs, but we're not kind of cramped and all, you know, kind of locked in. We want the energy to flow. Lovely. So I'll just face side on. We'll come back into that. Nice breath in. Lovely. So exhale. Let's just bring the hands down. Lift that back heel, front foot back into plank. Lowering down on the exhale. Inhale. Nice easy upward dog. Peeling the elbows back, the shoulders back. Exhale, downward dog. So stepping forward with the left foot, anchoring the right. Next inhale, coming all the way up. Warrior one. And again, if you like, you can bring the hands into prayer, shoulder blades down the back, lifting the sternum, lifting the gaze. Lovely. Exhale, popping the hands down,
sliding back, knees down into a little mini chaturanga. Inhaling, peeling the gaze up, exhale. Choosing if it's downward dog or child's pose, 5 breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, soft around the shoulders, gaze to the upper thighs. See, instead of walking the dog, you can draw both heels down. Really finding that stretch and length through the back line of the body, which is deeply calming. So how can you soften around the shoulders and around the elbows and the neck and make it a softer posture whilst still maintaining that stretch? Really engage bandha. Really engage bandha. So instead of pushing with the hands, let go a little bit, as it were, find a softness in the shoulders. Really engage bandha and use your abdominal muscles, the pelvic floor, to draw the sit bones, to draw the pelvis a little bit further away. Lovely. Gaze to the upper thighs, nice and long in the back of the neck. And then if you're in child's pose, just tucking, coming up into downward dog. And then from here, bending the knees, stepping forward as you're breathing in, exhaling, folding down over the legs, and then dropping the hips down for chair. So coming up into chair, and again, what we'll do is just spend a couple of moments here just figuring out what's happening in chair. So from the waist down, it's downward energy. From the waist up, or you could say from chi high up, it's upward energy. So how can we best kind of marry the two? Okay, so from the back of the waist, you want to lengthen the tailbone down. Rather than just gently tuck the tail from the tail, it wants to come from the back of the waist, which kind of helps activate the psoas, these winged muscles that work from the back of the waist and wrap around the front of the hips. So we get a little bit more support than just your rectus abdominis at the front and your transverse abdominis, okay? So feel that you're lengthening from the back of the waist a little bit. Just extend the arms out to start with. And again, you can imagine someone's got hold of your wrists and you're feeling quite balanced. So really downward energy from the navel, down through the feet. Lovely. And then just bringing the hands again into prayer. So this upward energy, how are we going to, work with that? So nice and soft in the shoulders, making sure they're down the back. And then start to lift the sternum, lengthen up through the trunk, take the arms up a little bit, and take the gaze up. So you want to feel this downward and upward energy through the body simultaneously. Nice breath in, nice breath out. And again, breathing in, breathing out. Lovely. Exhaling, coming back to center. Okay, so just staying there, taking a breath in and taking a breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. Lovely. So let's just move on to some of the postures from the primary series. We're going to start with the standing forward fold, Uttanasana. So the feet are comfortably hip width now. There's a softness in the knees, but the legs are straight. And you start with the hands on the hips, but lengthen up through the sternum. Find that length. In fact, if you take the arms up and we'll just stretch all the way up, help pull up, through the sternum, as it were, pull the trunk up using the arms. Lovely. Exhaling, cupping the hands onto the waist, gaze up. And then exhaling, just hinging at the hips. So we're softening the knees to see if we could, find a little place to bring the ribs down onto the thighs. Just working in a way that feels comfortable, don't force it. And then releasing the hands down onto, is it the legs, is it the mat? Okay, so if it's onto your legs, just holding onto the lower legs, onto the ankles. If your hands are comfortably on the mat, see if you can take your second and third finger and thumb and wrap it round the big toe. So essentially, it looks like a sausage roll. I'll just come and show you what I mean. So imagine this is my big toe, okay? And I'm wrapping my second and third finger and I mean, there's kind of two ends to the big toe there, but you know what I mean? So you see the end of the big toe, that's your big toe, and then the other toes would be here. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Lovely. So once you've got hold of your ankles, of your lower legs, or your big toes, do a nice half lift. Lift the sit bones, look up, breathe in. And then exhale, just navel hugging up. See if you can draw the spine down towards the mat a little bit more. So as much of that, I would say 70% is just releasing. Really engaging Bandha and then inviting the spine just through the whole length of it to soften and lengthen down towards the mat. The shoulder blades are down the back. We're tucking the elbows in towards the legs. They're not out to the sides. So we're feeling really nice and supported. Lovely. Nice breath in. Nice breath out. Lovely. And then dropping the weight into the feet, popping the hands up onto the waist on the exhale. Inhaling, unfurling, all the way back up. Coming back into the Samasthiti heat. So we're going to step back with the right foot. If you have a brick or a block and you'd like to use that for your standing postures, just make sure you've got it to hand. If you'd like to take some water, have a little drink, feel free to do that too, okay? So I might as well do that thing here. So, nice big step back, leg length, and then turn. So the right foot's pointing forward and the heel of the left foot's, you know, that back foot's at say 45 degrees. So it's either heels in alignment or the instep of the back foot in line with the front heel. So lean in, kind of drawing this right hip back, reaching up. If you've got your brick or block, it's going to be in this right hand. Mine's just down the mat. And then exhale, just reaching forward, finding length through the torso once again. And then popping the hand down. Could be onto your brick, could be onto the leg. You can go deeper and take the second and third finger and thumb round the big toe if you wish. So using that free left hand, navel hugs back to the spine. We start to rotate the chest round to face open to the side as best we can, and then extend up through the elbow, the wrist into the palm. Gaze up to the thumb of the left hand. So we're rolling this front hip forward. We keep drawing this right hip back. We're rotating at the waist, and the gaze is up to the thumb. Lovely, feeling expansive. Noticing, tuning into the energy from the armpit to the little finger. You start to feel quite warm. Breathing in, breathing out. Ujjayi breath if you can. Breathing in, breathing out. Notice if you're gripping on with the toes. See if you can free up the toes a little bit. Switch on the feet. Looking down at that front foot, bend into the front knee. Inhale, come up. If you'd like to use your block, I'll just demo it with a block just now. So, reaching up with the left hand, drawing the left hip back. So it's like we're sticking this right hip out. So we find length. And then exhale, keep reaching forward, finding length, popping the block down just by the foot, outer edge of the foot. And then again, using the right hand to help the chest open round to the side or rotate round to the side is a better way of explaining it. Navel's drawing back, so we're nice and engaged, and then opening up through the joints in the arm. Gaze up to the thumb. Notice what's happening with the chin of the head. You know, sometimes I find I'm a bit stiff. And doing that, I feel I'm just, you know, adding to stiffness in the neck. So feel free to take the gaze somewhere else or adjust the angle of the head and wrap the eyes round to the gaze, okay? So we're open, shoulder blades down the back, we're opening from the armpit and to the little finger on both arms, you know, it's like opening like so. Nice breath in, nice breath out. Inhaling and exhaling. Bringing the block with you, inhaling, coming up, we're just going to come straight into reverse, revolve triangle. So step the feet wider and shorter. So instead of the heels being tucked behind, we're going to step this back foot out a little bit so the hips face forward. Block in the left hand, right hand on the hip. Reaching up on the inhale, exhale, coming down to a tabletop. Keep drawing the right hip behind you, okay? And then popping the block to the outside of the front foot. If you don't have a block, you can pop your hand onto the shin or just pop the hand directly down onto the mat, whatever feels comfortable. So lengthening through the spine. So instead of the, you know, if you feel a bit over to the right, see if you can lengthen the spine a little bit. Switch on that back leg. And again, navel hugging back as you rotate the chest round to the right, opening up, elbow, wrist, palm. Nice breath in, nice breath out. So if that feels too much, you can just keep your right hand on that right hip. If you notice the right hip wants to kind of you know, stick out to the side, and you feel as if the weight's then being moved over to the left and you're a bit unstable, just keep drawing that hip back, switching on the kneecap of the back leg, finding length in the spine. Lovely. So engaging bandha, bending into the front knee, inhaling, coming all the way up. We're just going to immediately turn and do the same to the other side, okay? So we just step all the way around. So now the block's in the right hand, with a little bit of space in between the feet, both widthways and lengthways. We're looking at about 2/3 of a leg length distance between feet, so not too long a stance. So reaching up, finding that length through the torso on the inhale. Exhale, coming to a tabletop, popping your block to the outside of the front foot, or having the hand on the shin or the hand on the mat. Lengthening the crown of the head so the spine feels a little straighter. Keep drawing that left hip back. So engaging bandha, rotating at the waist, opening up, opening the left arm up now. Gaze up to the thumb if you can. If you feel sugary, take the gaze to wherever helps you feel more stable. Breathing in, stop gripping on with the toes, switch on the feet, breathing out. And again, breathing in, breathing out. Last one, breathing in, breathing out. Dropping the hand down, bending the knee, opening up the body to face me. So outer edges of the feet parallel and just stretching the arms all the way open. Armpit to little finger. Wonderful. Just turning the front foot to face the front edge of the mat and coming back into Samasthiti. And just regrouping, bringing whatever it was that, you know, was a lovely heart-filling thing that we used at the beginning of the class, bring that back into mind just now. So nice breath in, as if we can just welcome a sense of really working with the heart. I could say heart energy, but that seems a bit vague. I guess what I'm trying to say is that sense of when we feel connected. When we feel connected and we feel accepted, then we feel loved. So just welcoming in that sense of connection, that sense of love. And sometimes we can find that in very small things that please us, like having time in your day to have a nice cup of tea and put your feet up. You know, sometimes those are the things that fill our hearts. And other times it's looking at someone that we truly love, or an activity that reflects back to us. So you know what I'm talking about. It can be something very small or something important. Okay. So what we're going to do now is just take that right foot, nice big long step back, and turn to face the opposite end of the mat. Warrior two, sorry. Bending into the front knee, finding the outer edge of that back foot. Check the back foot isn't at a right angle out. The heel wants to be further away, so the whole hip can kind of fall in a little bit. Okay, we don't want to be kind of pushing into the side of the knee. We want the whole of that leg rolled in a little bit. And then open from the center of the chest into each of the palms facing down. Okay, so notice where the shoulders are. Make sure that they're not leaning forward towards that front knee, but directly above the hips. Balance. True warrior is completely balanced, isn't thrown by highly stressful circumstances, is able to keep their head. Okay, lovely. And then from here, what we're going to do is reach forward and pop the hand. Now it could be onto the thigh, or it could be down to the outside of the front foot. And if you have a block and you want to use the block, feel free. Top hand on the flank. Exhaling, just rolling it under. Inhaling, navel hug back, opening through the chest. We're just going to open all the way up, armpit to little finger. Lovely. Then just circle the sun. Trailing across on the inhale, exhale, coming back. Just doing a couple more of those. Inhaling, exhaling. Just freeing up that shoulder joint. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling, just coming into the full posture. Lovely. Exhale, we're just going to turn and do the same on the other side. So warrior two, if you have your block, just pop it down, opening equally. So you make a nice rectangle with your hips and your shoulders, arms out, gaze to the middle finger of the front hand. Lovely. Then reaching forward, choosing if you're using your thigh or coming down to the outside of that front foot, hand on the flank. And then just coming into circling the sun. So we're reaching forward with the right hand, inhaling, circling it round, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Notice if one side feels trickier, inhaling and exhale. So making this inhale just come into the full posture, finding the outer edge of that back foot, extending through the side of the ribs, feeling nice and long. Gaze up to the downturned palm. Lovely. And then from here, just walk hand over hand back to the other end of the mat, coming into a nice long lunge. So popping the back knee down, left knee down, right hand on the hip, reaching up with that left hand. So for the revolved version, okay? So we're reaching across. Right hand can actually, you can push the knee into the center line a little bit. Reach across with the left hand. So we're either holding onto the outside of the knee. Again, remembering we've got that push-pull, pushing, well, push, that kind of double push, as it were. The knee pushes into the hand pushes into the knee. Or we're doing the same with the elbow. So choose, which feels right for you. We've been doing a lot of this in early summer. So if you've been coming to class regularly, you'll kind of know what you're doing for this one. So the hands, left elbow, outer edge of the right knee, hands in prayer, fingertips pointing in the same direction as your right foot. So not off pointing to your chin, not off pointing out or up to the ceiling or down to the floor, but parallel to the floor, pointing in the same direction as the front toes. You've got a second option to tuck the back toes and lift the knee. Again, finding more length and lift through the spine as much as you can. Nice breath in, nice breath out. Lovely. And then from there, just popping the knee down, releasing the hands. If you want to take the block with you, in fact, we don't need it for this one, do we? We're just going to go all the way over to the other edge of the other end of the mat. So nice long low lunge to start with. Just get a nice stretch through the hip. And then pop that back knee down, left hand on the front knee now. So reaching up, stretching up, using the left hand to bring the knee to the center line, crossing the right hand over to the outside of the knee, other hand on the waist, nice and long in the spine, just looking round and behind, engaging bandha. Second option, leading with the elbow, bringing the hands into prayer, making sure this front knee is above the ankle, not kind of sliding back. Loosey. So, and then, from here, you can really use the leverage of pressing the elbow against the knee to find a bit more space around the torso. And then you've got the other option, if you're bringing the elbows down, to lift the back knee, tuck the back toes, and lift the back knee. So you're nice and long through the body. Engaging bandha, really engage your bandha. See if you can find a bit more lightness through the torso. Breathe in, stretching into that back heel if the back knee's lifted. Breathing in, Ujjayi breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. Lovely. So releasing, just walking hand over hand, turning the toes to face the long edge of the mat, making sure they're a leg length apart and the outer edges of the feet are parallel. So the heels are in line with the little toes. Soften the knees, bring the hands onto the waist, inhale, come up. So wide leg forward fold, okay? Crossing the arms, exhale. Inhale, opening armpit to little finger. Exhaling, popping the hands on the hips. Inhaling, drawing the elbows back, lifting up with the chest. Finding that space in the torso once again. Exhaling, leading with the heart, so we're hinging at the hips. And then from here, just release the hands down into a nice tabletop. Inhale, half lift. Pressing into the feet, lift the sit bones, looking up, engaging bandha, shoulders down the back. And then just bring the weight forward a little bit, keeping the heels on the mat, keeping the toes nice and free, but just nudge the weight just a smidge forward. And then from there, start to draw the chest back towards the thighs, folding down, and bring the hands under the shoulders, tucking the elbows behind the wrists so the elbows are parallel to each other. So once you're down there, tucking in the chin, imagining that you're looking through the legs at the ceiling, kind of through the legs, ceiling behind you. Lovely. Keep engaging Bandha, softening the backs of the knees, but the legs are straight as you can manage. That's it. So notice what's happening with your shoulder blades. Notice if you're kind of all bunched round the neck, and can you slide those shoulder blades away, you know, towards the waist a little bit, and find a bit more space around the head and around the neck. Lovely. Just play with bringing the weight towards the front of the feet, keeping the heels on the mat just to deepen the stretch into the glutes, into the hamstrings. Lovely. So exhaling, soften the knees, engage your bandhas, hands on the hips. Inhaling, lifting the head, coming all the way up. Lovely. Good. Exhale, cross the arms. Inhale, opening, armpits to little fingers. Exhale, taking the hands behind, interlacing, and just tucking the chin as you draw the hands down to the mat. Lovely. Inhaling, looking up. So again, we're going to lift the chest, lift the sternum, sugar and bring the arms a little bit away from the body. And then exhale, just come down to a nice tabletop, leading with the heart. Stay there. Inhale, lift up, sugar the arms. See if you can bring them a little bit further away from the lower back. And then exhale. From there, just come into that forward fold. Again, drawing the chest towards the thighs. So the legs are straight, but we're not locking the knees. The knees are soft. We keep seeing if we can sugar and relax and release the arms a little bit further away from the back, maybe towards the shoulders, or maybe towards the mat, depending on what's happening in the shoulders. Again, imagine you're looking through the legs at the ceiling, but taking the gaze to the tip of your nose. So for all of the prasarita, this is called wide leg forward fold, prasarita padottanasana. This is C. We've done A. We've missed out B. We're doing C, and the drishti, the gaze, is to the tip of the nose. Nice breath in, nice breath out. Bring the weight towards the front of the feet again, just playing with where you are in space, keeping the heels on the mat though. Lovely. Exhale, popping the hands to the base of the spine, soften the knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Wonderful. So from here, just turning the front foot towards the front edge of the mat, coming to step forward into Samastiti. Can't say it. Samastiti. Hands together. It could be hands on the heart. It could be little Anjali Mudra, or just hands just below the belly. Taking a nice breath in. Nice breath out. Nice breath in. Nice breath out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Feeling connected through the soles of the feet. Being aware of what's happening in the legs, in the bandhas, through the spine to the crown of the head. Taking the hands all the way up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, half lift. Exhaling, just stepping back into all fours. Lovely. So, we're just going to stretch out through the body a little bit, engaging the bandhas, and just building a little bit of core strength. So, just taking that left leg, stretching it out, lifting it off the mat. Lovely. If that feels okay, just extending the opposite arm. So make sure that the opposite shoulder, the left shoulder is down the back. You're not locking out that left arm. Keep lifting bandha up. Keep engaging the navel. Lovely. And then popping the hand down, the knee down. Just ease it off by rocking the hips side to side, and then do a slow circle one way with the hips. Slow circle back the other way. And just engaging bandha now, extending the right leg. Lifting it a few inches off the mat. Lifting the left arm, opposite. Lovely. Keep lifting up, nice and soft through that right shoulder. And then popping the hands and the knee down, rocking the hips. And just change that from a circle to a figure of 8. So we're just moving through that sideways figure of 8. Each bit of the 8, the kind of bulbous bit, is a different side of your hips, as it were. And the central point of the 8 is the center of your pelvis. Then when you want to change direction, you just do a half circle. From the top of one of the bulbous bits, you don't go round, through the center, you just kind of do a half circle around the edge and then we join in the opposite direction. Lovely. So doing that a couple of times, just freeing up the energy in the pelvis. So from here, we're just going to tuck the toes, stretch the soles of the feet, and bring the hips onto the heels a little bit. And then lifting the, what do we call it, the hips up. So we've done this in last week, we're just working towards camel. We're just going to continue that. So we start by taking the hands, pressing them into the lower back, peeling the elbows back, being aware, armpits to little fingers now, and just leaning into the hands as we push or press the hands into the lower back, and we lean back on them. Lovely. And then exhale, just drop the hips. So now let's just go a little deeper. Inhaling, taking one hand up, exhaling, coming back, changing hands. Inhaling, leaning onto the opposite hand, exhaling. Lovely. So just going from side to side, feeling open, armpit to little finger, exhaling, strong in the core, hinging at the hips. Inhaling. Lovely. Exhale. So if you'd like to go for a deeper back bend, we'll just visit what we've just done. So you're pressing one hand forward, bringing the other hand forward, leaning back. So you get a really good stretch through the fronts of the thighs, front of the hips. If the head's going back, then the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, behind your teeth. Opening through the heart center, so the whole of the chest, getting a really lovely stretch. Wonderful. Exhaling, just drawing the chin to the chest, hinging at the hips, and just popping yourselves down into Balasana. So knees wide, toes together, just bringing the ribs down in between the thighs, forehead down on the mat, nice and relaxed in the shoulders. Nice long breath in, nice long breath out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in through the whole of the spine. Exhaling, engaging bandha. Inhaling, just slowly coming up to all fours. And so from here, just coming onto your backs and hugging the knees. Feel free to have a little glove of water. And then just rock from side to side. Just a hand on the knees, just taking the knees in one direction, a couple of slow circles, and then change back the other way. So bring the feet down onto the mat, hip width apart, arms by your sides, palms face down. We'll just come into a little flowing bridge. So tucking the tail, and then untucking the tail. Tucking the tail, and then untuck. And when you're tucking the tail, pressing into the feet, rolling the hips up now, coming up towards the shoulders. Nice one back of the neck, lovely. Lifting the heels, rolling all the way back down on the exhale. Popping the heels back down. So, nice breath in, rolling up. See if you can struggle and bring the arms together behind the back, interlace the hands, nice and long in the back of the neck. Keep pressing into the feet, lifting the hips. Nice breath in, nice breath out. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Wonderful. So unstruggle your shoulders, release the hands, lift the heels, exhale, roll steadily down on the mat. Wonderful. Hugging the knees, hugging them close. Lovely. So we'll just come towards happy baby, taking a hold of each knee, let the knees come into apart. So the knees are going out to the sides a little bit in a V shape. And then just hug behind the backs of the knees, shining the soles of the feet up towards the sky. Lovely. And then from here, you can go a little deeper, bringing the hands up onto the feet or the ankles. Another way to go deeper is to bring the elbows inside the knees. Wonderful. So from here, choosing what you'd like to do. If you'd like to come into a gentle inversion, or if you'd like to come into shoulder stand. I'm going to talk us through shoulder stand. Just moving gubbins out of the way so don't create a mess. But don't feel that you have to do it. If you're on your period, then you know you can come into shoulder stand, but at the same time you might feel energetically benefited more by a gentle inversion. So gentle inversion, the hips are on the mat. You're just taking the legs up, You can take the arms overhead. Sometimes it's more comfortable to cross the ankles. You kind of give yourself a bit of support and do 5 slow breaths with the ankles crossed one way and then uncross and recross the other way. So you end up with 10 slow breaths, okay? Or you can just have the feet together and then bring, you know, the soles of the feet together coming into Baddha Konasana. So that's some options for a gentle inversion. Shoulder stand, you just are on your back with the palms face down, arms by the sides of the body. And then you just start to rock, to take the knees up, okay? So once you're kind of up, you can shuggle the arms, interlace the fingers and start to shuggle the shoulder blades a little bit closer together to give you more lift. Popping the hands onto the lower back, back of the neck's nice and long, and then just lengthen up, stretch up towards the toes, making sure the knees and the toes are pointing straight ahead, there's no twisted angles. And you can imagine that someone has a wee string at your toes and just keeps drawing you up towards the sky. So 10 slow breaths, breathing in and breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Just keep finding more length through the torso, engaging bandha, getting a good stretch through the back, through the thighs, through the hips. Lovely. So to come down, you release the legs, bend the legs. We're going to take, and I kind of drop them forward a little bit and release the hands with the palms down. And then using control, just release vertebrae by vertebrae back down on your mat if you can. So we're all going to come into modified fish. Just extending the legs out. See if you can tuck the backs of the hands just below your hips so the elbows are a little bit out and bent. Pressing into the elbows, you're going to lift the chest, okay? So engaging bandha, press into the elbows, lift the chest and the head, and then just see if you can rest towards the top of the head so the whole of the throat is open, you know? 3 slow breaths here, tongue on the roof of the mouth. Keep pressing into the arms to get more open in the chest. Lovely, and then just releasing by bringing the back of the head onto the mat, and there you are, ready for Shavasana. So this has been a very much practice-heavy class, where we've not only done an amazing body clock flow, we've also done, you know, a really nice, just getting around the anatomy of the sun salutation, and done a few of the postures from the primary series of Ashtanga. So just getting a blanket on, getting some socks on, just getting yourself nice and cozy. We're supposed to be finishing class now, so tonight's not going to be a particularly long Shavasana. We're just going to go, you know, for a few minutes. I don't want to run too much over. But what I will do is I'll share a link for a really beautiful relaxation. So if you wish to, you can then follow that, you know, if you're following this as a recorded class. And if you're doing it live, then I will share something with you as well. I'll give you a link to one of my Insight Timer things you can listen to at bedtime. Lovely. So just get yourself nice and settled. If you want to change the lighting in the room, do, or just put a gentle, you know, a kind of a light scarf over the eyes, just anything to help relax the body even more. Then go for it. So just settling yourself as best you can. And just inviting the whole body to relax down on the mat, and really congratulate yourself on this fire element practice. Notice how the body's feeling after our fire practice today. Maybe feeling a little warmer, maybe feeling a little bit more spacious and live, just eased some of that tightness and tension out of the body. Maybe feeling a little bit more focused through that lovely rhythmical breathing. So this is a key element of the practice of Ashtanga, is the breath and the focus of the breath.
And so now, if you wish, you can work towards a really lovely breath that has many healing qualities. We're only going to do it for a couple of minutes, but it's breathing in for 6 and breathing out for 6. And I'd like to leave it to yourselves to come up with the count that feels right for your body today. But if you breathe in for 6 and breathe out for 6, there's been some fantastic medical research done. Now, who are those? I've got it written here. Oop. There's Dr. Richard Brown and Dr. Patricia, and I have not got her surname. But basically, if we do that for 20 minutes, we're not going to do it for 20 minutes now, but it improves all bodily functions for 24 hours. So just breathing in for a count of 6, breathing out for a count of 6 is very calming and restorative, and medically so for the body. So just in your own time, I'd like you to imagine a count in your mind that feels a comfortable and manageable count. And you're going to breathe in for the count of 6 in your mind and breathe out for the count of 6 in your mind. So if you can, breathe with a gentle ujjayi breath, that soft sighing in the throat, but the mouth is closed. So we're breathing in and out through the nose. It's almost like the lovely rhythmical flow of the water at the shoreline. Imagining a little pebbly beach. If some of you, I know some of you were joined me on my last retreat at Culzean Castle, and just being by the sea and listening to the sea. It can be so calming. So feel free to imagine yourself in a really calming and lovely situation. So all the way in and all the way out. And you may wish, once you've got the rhythm, if it feels comfortable rhythm, just to welcome in on the inhale people, activities that help you feel connected. And on the exhale, just soothing the body, inviting the body to soften and relax a little bit more. Welcoming in a sense of calm and peace. Peace of mind and peace in the body, just feeling so relaxed and balanced. And then just the next exhale of 6, just letting go of that and letting the breath flow softly and naturally. And then from there, just starting to bring yourself towards a more active and alert state. So bringing little fingers into little movements into your fingers, into your toes. Maybe gently turning the head from side to side. If you've got an eye pillow on, just negotiating, letting the light back in. And then just taking the arms all the way overhead, just stretching the whole body out so the body feels so long. Again, just that lovely space between the hips and the ribs. And then onto your exhale, just hugging the knees and rocking from side to side. And then just coming to rest on a comfy side. And then making your way up to finish. So if you are watching this as a recorded class, this is where I'm going to leave you. You're very welcome to continue with another video or continue with a relaxation. Thank you for joining this first class of the fire.